Hey folks, glad you took a minute to watch our video and see one of the hottest buys out there on the market right now. You have the excellent opportunity of getting a very rare, probably one of a kind, 2003 Infiniti G35 Coupe. And this thing is tricked out, super clean. There's only 1% of cars out there that fall under mint condition, and this is one of them. Mark right here is going to tell you a little bit about the car. What do you got going on here?
All right, well, this is my 2003 G35. Came from the factory with all the options available. Navigation, the OEM Brembo brakes. I've done a lot of modifications, spent a lot of time, a lot of money. All the work is done by myself, besides the tuning and everything. But on the exterior here, we have the iForged 19-inch a true two-piece wheel. And it's 8 inches wide on the front, 10 inches on the back.
Oh God.
Running two 45s up front and two 85s in the rear. You got a 1.5, 2 inch lip up front, about a 3.5, 4 inch lip in the rear. For the brakes, as I said, it has the OEM Brembo brakes, but I upgraded the brake lines to the F1 Motorsports steel braided lines, the Motul 600.4 racing brake fluid, along with the Hawk HPS brake pads.
God damn.
Then on the front here, this is an aftermarket front bumper. All the body work is done at D&B Auto Body, one of the top auto bodies in the DMV.
Dude, this thing feels like it's like a factory. This thing feels solid as hell.
Yep, they do a great job.
That's not like that cheap plastic crap that you get. Like.
No. This is an expensive bumper to get it installed. The color match right and everything. Also,
the paint right here feels like silk. I mean, there's literally no scratches, dings, dents, nothing. This is like better than, it looks better than new, Mark.
I've taken real good care of her. She's a garage queen. I've put 18,000 miles in 6 years on the car, so she just sits in the garage most of the time.
Has it ever been out in the rain?
Nope. Oh no, actually only a couple times, but that was the previous owner.
Oh, really?
Myself does not get driven in the rain, the snow, any type of elements. Only sunshine for her.
I'm telling you folks, this thing feels like it is straight up silk butter. There is absolutely not one bit of texture on this thing. It feels like I'm touching air right now.
The lights here are actually from a 2006 model. In 2003, they came out and they did not have the projector headlights.
I remember
the HID xenon lights. So I upgraded these to the 2006 lights, and I also upgraded the bulbs there. The factory are 4300 Kelvin. These are Philips 5K HID lights.
Jesus. These, do you have any engine work done too?
Yep, it's got a lot of bolt-ons. The big bolt-on is the big power adder, which is the STS remote turbo system. As you can see in the front here, you can see the front mount intercooler. Down here is the STS front mount intercooler, and the turbocharger sits in the rear, right back where the muffler would normally go. It's a unique turbo system where you don't have the turbo sitting underneath the engine bay, which generates a lot of heat, so the heat is able to dissipate a lot better.
So is this thing like a street sleeper?
I would say, yeah. This thing is definitely a neck breaker.
Oh, really?
No matter where I go, I get compliments. I get compliments on this car from a wide range, from every age group. Doesn't matter. I've had old ladies in their 60s come up to me and tell me what a beautiful car this is, and they're not even car enthusiasts. It's a showstopper.
Let's pop the hood. This thing looks like straight up something that you would see at the Washington, D.C. auto show. I don't even think I've seen anything like this in there.
Okay, for
Holy
underneath,
crap.
This is the factory plenum, intake plenum, which I had polished. I added a front top strut bar, which is also polished. Here is a Motordyne 1/2 inch intake spacer. And here is all the charge pipes for the turbocharger. Right here is all tile waste. It's a tile blow-off valve. You got the return fuel system back here with you can set your base fuel pressure. It's just a vacuum distributor over here.
So what's all that do? It just makes it nasty?
Pretty much.
All right, so besides being nasty, Mark, what else we got in here?
Okay, it's also equipped with the Aquamist water methanol injection system. It is functional, but it is currently not hooked up. The last tune I had, which was done in June of this year, 2011, I did not tune it for that. I did not get it hooked up properly, but everything is set to go. I've just disconnected the power to the pump. All you have to do is insert the nozzle here, which goes underneath the charge pipe, and that's where it injects the water methanol solution. And the tank is right down here in the front bumper that holds the water methanol solution.
What does water methanol solution do?
Well, it's basically it's as a preventative. It allows the tuner to run the engine a little leaner and advance the timing a little more. And by doing that, especially on a turbocharged application, it increases power overall. And it's a safety measure because it's reducing the intake temperatures significantly. And also it's cleaning the inside. The methanol is cleaning the inside of the engine to a sense.
That thing's awesome.
For this has been completely upgraded. It's got I started out with the Tyne H-Spec H-Tech springs. I removed those this past summer. Went with a brand new coilover setup, the Tyne basic coilovers. The coilovers have, I would say, 2,000 miles on them, if that. It's never driven, never been on the track or anything like that. Along with the suspension, so it's a full coilover system front and rear, which is fully adjustable, so you can raise and lower the vehicle. Also, it has the front and rear sway bars, Eibach adjustable sway bars, which are adjustable also. So depending on your application, if you want a more aggressive or a little lighter setup, you can adjust it to your needs, to cater to your needs.
So you can make it stiff if you want to go on like a racetrack, if you wanted to get nasty in the curves, but if you want to make it a smoother ride for everyday driving in traffic and whatever.
It's about how the car handles. The sway bars adjust the way the car handles and how it drives around the track.
Gotcha.
And how, because being a rear-wheel drive vehicle, you can adjust it so you can have it a little more tail happy.
Oh, that's fun.
So it's fully adjustable. As I said, you have the front strut bar here.
So this is a drift car pretty much if you want it to be.
It could be, but it could be a drift, it could be a show, it could be a number of things. I've put so much time into this thing, and as you can see, I mean, she's beautiful. It really pains me to have to sell her. I wish I could keep her, but it's just can't do it at this time.
All right. So now come on back here and let's take a look at what you got going on here with this custom back right here. Because this thing looks absolutely ridiculous.
This is aftermarket trunk here, and it comes with a molded lip. So it's the OEM style trunk, but it has a nice little lip here.
And there's like no seam.
Very subtle. Again, the work was on D&V Auto Body, and they are great at matching paint. They do all the body work for Ferrari of Washington and many other prestigious car manufacturers.
Dang.
They did an excellent job, as you can see here. Everything looks OEM, straight from the factory. They installed everything just to look like it. This is a fiberglass trunk, so it's lighter than factory.
This thing looks absolutely vicious in the back.
For the rear here, I had this painted, just to give it a little contrast in color there. painted a flat satin black.
That's nice.
Makes it look nice from the rear. You know, black and silver go pretty well together.
This is probably the nicest rear end I've seen in a long time. All right, now you got to show the interior on this thing because it's pretty much spotless inside. All right, so now moving into the interior, Mark, what do you got?
Okay, well, it's pretty stock in here. I like to keep things pretty simple. So over here, you just got your two gauges. You got your wideband air-to-fuel gauge. It's a PLX device, wideband air-to-fuel gauge, and just your standard boost gauge over here. Over here, you have your Turbo Smart boost controller. Now, this little guy does a number of different functions. It has over boost protection. It has obviously the main function of it is to control the boost, but it has a number of other features. And this is one of Turbo Smart's newer models. I just had this replaced and installed in June of 2011, the same time I had the vehicle tuned at PF Supercars in Frederick, Maryland. Over here you have, I just had this upgrade. This is all suede, custom suede with orange stitching. The orange stitching matches the gauges. Everything illuminates in orange, so that matches everything. And the suede matches the seats and the carpeting. And as I had mentioned before, this is fully loaded from the factory in 2003. So it does come with the navigation system, the pop-up navigation system.
Oh, it's vicious.
Along with the Bose sound system.
Huh.
And the navigation system does monitor some of the engine's diagnostics, more so for maintenance purposes. It tells you when you need your next oil change and your fuel economy. But because this vehicle has been equipped with a turbocharger, everything's been changed, so the fuel economy, it's not that great. But you gotta,
that's not what we're buying it for, is fuel economy.
No, you're not buying for fuel economy. This thing is for speed, not for the fuel economy.
All right, rear seat looks beautiful back here. Let me just lean this thing up. As you can imagine, this car is pretty much kept pristine condition, and
it's actually not that bad of a back seat for a two-door coupe. It's not, you know, for someone of my size, it's not great to be sitting in the rear, but
that thing is a monster. All right, now I gotta have you crank it up, man, so we can let them hear it. That is nice.
40 mods with the turbocharger. It has the OEM exhaust manifold, which is mated up to the test pipes, which eliminates the catalytic converter, which goes into an AAM Y pipe, which then goes into the stock mid pipe, which goes into the turbocharger. So that opens up the exhaust system for a freer flowing exhaust, which is better for a turbocharged system.
Nice, so it's not going to wear out on you?
Should, no. And the other thing I forgot to mention, the turbocharger was put on, it has 10,000 miles on the turbo system. The turbo was rebuilt a few thousand miles ago, so it only has about 2,000 miles on the actual turbocharger itself. It was rebuilt from the factory. And as far as maintenance, I do all the work myself, but I keep up with all the maintenance. While the car was under warranty, it was serviced at the Infiniti dealerships. I have all paperwork, all the service records and everything. I've kept up with all the the factory services I've done myself using all OEM parts. Recently, I just did a whole flush of the cooling system, changed the thermostat just because I felt it was time. At the same time, it was at 47,000 miles, I flushed the transmission as well as the rear differential. I also flushed, when I was installing the turbocharger, I flushed the power steering fluid. So pretty much all the fluids, and I already mentioned about the brakes, which the brakes were just flushed in June at the same time when I installed the oil cooler, as well as the other supporting modifications to the car. So pretty much it's a very well maintained vehicle. I'm kind of anal about my cars, and you know, I never drive it. I bought the car in June of 2005, and since that time I bought it with 40,000 miles, and since that time I've only put 19,000 miles on it, and so, you know, going on 7 years almost, and only 19,000 miles.
Freaking sick, man.
Never gets driven in the rain, snow, none of the elements.
This thing looks absolutely better than showroom quality. It looks like a straight up. What else you got?
Well, along with the turbocharged, you had some supporting mods to go along with it. So I had it has test pipes, which removes the catalytic converter. So it is running a free flow, but it's still past emissions. I just passed emissions.
There you have, folks. Less than 59,000 miles on a 2003 Infiniti Butter. Show car, straight out. You can put this into a car show and probably win first prize. Come on down, pick it up today, okay?